Copy 724, right. Center maintain 2000.
Center maintain 2074.
Comment 504 to center maintain 3000.
3000, comment 504.
In this video, we're going to be covering a rest of the questions related to aerodynamics. This is going to be the second and final video, which is going to be related to aerodynamics. Last time we stopped at the load factors, so we're gonna pick up from there, talking about the load factors. And the first question is, what situations may result in load factors reaching the maximum, right? So the list goes like this. One is the level turns, turbulence, speed, these are the ones. So basically three things. The load factor basically increases at a terrific rate after a bank has reached 45 degrees or 50 degrees. It's going to increase a lot. Turbulence, several vertical gusts cause a sudden increase in the angle of attack, which is going to result in very high load factors. And the speed, the amount of excess load that can be imposed upon the wing depends on how fast the airplane is flying. At speeds below maneuvering speed, the airplane may stall because the load factor can become excessive. So I guess the load factors is only the speed has an inversely proportional. The rest is all directly proportional. Increasing the turns is going to increase the load factor. Increasing the turbulence is going to increase the load factor. But increasing the speed is going to decrease the load factor. Okay. Then what are the different operational categories for aircraft, and within which category does the aircraft fall? Like, and within which category does your aircraft fall? So what are the different categories, right? And we're talking about, it's all related to the load factor. So the maximum safe load factor specified for airplane in the various categories are gonna be like this. For the normal, it's plus 3.8 to minus 1.52, and for the aerobatic, it's gonna be plus 6.0 to minus 3.0. The range in the normal is less, and these are for the load factors, and whereas the range in the aerobatic airplanes is much more. Okay. Then what effect does an increase in load factor have on stalling speed? So we talked about it. We're gonna load factor and the speed, or the stalling speed. So the load factor, when that increases, stalling speed increases, meaning that the plane can even stall even at a higher speed. That's what it means. Then we're gonna be talking about maneuvering speed. Basically, it is the speed, right? It is actually the maximum speed at which the load limit load can be imposed without causing structural damage. Again, the maximum speed at which the limit load can be imposed, right, without causing the structural damage is called the maneuvering speed. And just so that you know that all the maneuvers are done normally in the maneuvering speed, again depending on what maneuver you're going to be doing, but that's it. Okay, discuss the effect of maneuvering speed on an increase or decrease in weight. So the same maneuvering speed, what is the relationship with the weight? Right, maneuvering speed increases with an increase in weight. Again, if the total weight with the passengers of an aircraft increases, the maneuvering speed is gonna increase, right? And again, it's kind of proportional. So increasing the weight is gonna increase the maneuvering speed, decreasing the weight is gonna decrease the maneuvering speed. Then we have to talk about loss of control. And this is for the in-flight, right? And what is it? And describes several situations that might increase the risk, right, of getting into this loss of control. It is defined as the significant deviation of an aircraft from the intended flight path. So if this is the flight path of an aircraft and the aircraft is going like this, so uh, intended flight path, and often results from an airplane upset. Right. Maneuvering is the most common phase of the flight for this loss of control accidents to occur. Meaning, like you were doing the maneuvering and then you, because of that, actually you lost the, you're no more in the flight of, uh, you're not no more in the on your intended flight path. So that would be the loss of control. Then the reasons for stalling, we wanted to cover that. So always remember that the direct cause of every stall is an excessive angle of attack. Kind of very nerdy. Uh, we know that the speed, when the speed is gonna be less, it's gonna stall when the uh, there is like but what, because even at higher speeds you can, the plane can stall and stuff like that. So basically the actual reason for the airplane to stall is the excessive angle of attack. Like the critical angle of attack varies from 16 to 20 degrees depending on the airplane design. So when that exceeds that, it's gonna stall. Okay. Again, what is a spin? Stalls and spins. So spin in an airplane is basically, it's an uncontrolled maneuver in which the airplane or glider descends in a helical path like this. So this is like a kind of a stall, but you are also spinning at the same time in a helical path. What is the cause of spin? Again, the primary cause of like a spin which you didn't expect, also known as inadvertent spin, is the exceeding the critical angle of attack. Remember last time we said it was the exceeding the angle of attack, right? Stalling was exceeding angle of attack, and it's again the same thing, critical angle of attack, but this time plus at the same time what you are doing is the excessive or insufficient rudder use. So same thing, but this time with the other than exceeding the angle of attack, you are using too much of rudder. That's gonna cause the spin. Okay, now so again, when are spins most likely to occur? The spin like uh, common scenarios. So number one is again spin can occur at any time, but normally they occur when the, I'm just gonna sound it out here. So one thing is like the engine fail when you are taking off, right? So the engine failure on takeoff during climb out, it's a very common scenario where the spin does occur. Then we have a cross control turn from the base to final. So when you are from the base, you are turning to the final, and we will be covering about these positions in later videos too. So the cross control turn from the base to final, again the speeds are very slow, and you need to remember how fast, or how if you turn it too fast, you're gonna end up in a spin. Okay, also known as the slipping or skidding turn. The third one is the engine failure on approach to landing. So when you are landing and the engine just fails, uh, like that's another reason you can end up in spinning. And the last one is go around with a full nose up trim. So you are trying to go around, but like you have a full nose trim, you can end up in a spin. And one more is if you have, again you are doing the go around, but you have a improper flap retraction, then you can also have a, again if you are doing a go around, the flaps needs to go back, but like because you need some speed, otherwise if the flaps are down, you're gonna end up losing the speed too. That is another common scenario for the spin. Okay, what is the procedure to recover from a spin? Okay, so here is the acronym in order to recover from the spin. It's called PAR. If we have space here, E. P is power. We need to bring it to idle. Don't Not a good idea to actually give even more power when you are spinning, because it could, like if you are already in a hexical motion and giving it more power, it's gonna be like, nah, just bring it to an idle position. Okay, aileron position to neutral. Ailerons needs to be, and then the rudder apply full opposite against rotation. The rudder, this is the aileron, this is the rudder. The rudder should be opposite direction. An elevator apply positive forward of neutral movement to brake stall, because again it's gonna be positive forward to neutral, right? um, and again this one is because you this happened mostly because the speed was slow, and so elevator is gonna be pushed, uh, the yoke is gonna be pushed inside to get some speed, but not using the power. Power is gonna be idle, ailerons are gonna be neutral, right? And the rudder is gonna be all, you have to press the rudder like uh, to its full extent in the opposite direction, and the elevator, they're gonna be you have to apply positive forward of neutral movement, right? Okay, couple of other things we wanted to cover is 12th is gonna be what is adverse yaw. So when turning an airplane to the left, right, uh, it's just an example, like we are turning an airplane to the left, the downward deflected aileron on the right produces more lift on the right wing. Since the downward deflected right aileron produces more lift, it also produces more drag, while the opposite left aileron has less lift and less drag. And as you can imagine, that this is like this added drag attempts to pull the airplane's nose in the direction of the raised wing, which is right. uh, and that is basically this adverse yaw. It tries to control the airplane in the direction opposite to that desired. Okay, and what is the ground effect? Basically, it is a condition of improved performance the airplane experiences when it is operating near the ground. So you're gonna be thinking that okay, the plane is ready to airborne, and it does airborne sometimes, right? So it and the performance of the airplane really improves when you are very close to the ground. A change occurs in the three-dimensional flow pattern around the airplane because the airflow around the wing is restricted by the ground surface. So you are only having experiencing three effects of the air from the three sides. As the bottom side, we have ground, right? So so this is the definition of the ground effect, and what major problems can be caused by the this ground effect. Problems of this ground effect. Okay, so what happens is like during landing at a height of approximately 1/10 of a wingspan, right, above the surface, drag may be 40% less than when the airplane is operating out of ground effect. Therefore, an excess speed during the landing phase may result in a significant float distance. So you basically the because of the ground effect, the airplane when landing is gonna get more speed. That is if you don't think about that. And during the takeoff, what can happen is like because of the reduced drag in the ground effect, the airplane may seem capable of takeoff well before the recommended speed. So sometimes what happens is like you are even going up, and you become airborne because of the ground effect, but then because you if you try to bring the nose up, you are still not on the recommended climbing speed, uh, takeoff speed, so it may hit the ground again. So these are the effects, problem with the ground effects. Thanks for watching.